I mean, I think
to not
patriarchy's
have a lot
over.
there right now.
Patriarchy is pretty much done. It's going to take another 100 years or two for that transition for it to completely die, but it's pretty much over.
I'll get to
Like
see the end
men
of
are
it, so
more or
that's cool.
less
200, you
useless
said?
at this point.
All right, I
Yeah,
could do 200 more
200
years.
years.
I could do 200 more. I'm not going past that though.
It's pretty much over. It's just useless. Like the men have been in charge and have pretty much destroyed the world, made it almost unsuitable for human habitation. Like, you're done. You failed. You're fired.
It's on fire.
No, we're not doing this anymore. I was going to say
The
that thing
water
about
is boiling. It's literally on fire. You fucked it up. Welcome to Strategy and Solidarity Pod, the podcast. It's an act of revolutionary defiance and a celebration of the things that bring us comfort, solace, and joy as we work to reclaim our humanity together. I am your co-host, Carlos Kareem Wyndham.
And I'm Teresa Logan. You said it's an act, and I was like, we're not fake. This is real. It's not an act. This is really who we are. And then you finished. Hey, Carlos, how's your... It's like, you're putting on... I'm not putting on an act. You're putting on an act?
Huh? Yep.
How is your nervous system?
I'm whatever baiting anybody who thinks I'm whatever they think I am. I'm baiting you that way. What? How's what? Which what? What's going on?
Your nervous system. How's your nervous system doing today? Or what's bringing you joy? Pick your...
Battle.
Not battle or poison. They're both wonderful things. Which question you want to respond to today? Pick your own path. It's like a choose your own adventure story.
Oh boy. A hooded sweatshirt.
It's very bright.
Is bringing me joy. Even though it was crawling up the small of my back and I was having to adjust so that I could say that. It is. A hooded sweatshirt is bringing me comfort. It is bringing me joy. I am very glad that I have an thicky hooded sweatshirt. And I am very confused by the fact that on June 29 in the Pacific Northwest that I would need that. It is strange.
Now look, being from here, this has happened in life. I remember being a child wearing long sleeve shirts to summer camp because it was so cold and rainy in June. Now, June 29th is a bit of a stretch. It snowed on the 4th of July, and usually more like in Central Oregon than in Portland. But I've seen this happen. What I've not seen happen in my entire 44 years, most of which have been spent in the city of Portland, Oregon, is seen it just ping pong repeatedly back and forth between 90 and 60. So had it just been an extended cool spring of cool weather and rain, that I've seen. But having a week of 90 and then a week of 60 and then a week of 80 and a week of 60 and a week of 90 and a week of... I've never seen that before. This has been very bizarre.
Yeah.
Very bizarre.
Well, I mean, and I know that the weather is unusually difficult for humans to adjust to everywhere, that there are humans in the northern hemisphere of the United States and of the globe, and that we're all in a pickle of heat right now, or cold, or something that ain't what it's supposed to be according to anything we've ever experienced before in our lives. And I really do. I want to wish deep empathy, in particular for those who are losing loved ones, for those who are losing their lives in their cities and having to watch that and live that happening right now. It's so hey, nobody thought that Dune was where we were gonna live. It was a story, and we're here, and I look like a gay Jawa. I just thought about that. I as much as George Lucas, I look hack. I'm just stealing ideas directly from whoever the
My
guy
God,
who wrote
we
Dune is.
coordinated again without intentionally meaning to. Like we work in an office together. I
Who's
got a
the,
pink
who,
shirt on. You have a pink sweatshirt. I have a pink shirt on.
who's the guy
At the
who wrote
training
Dune?
on
Now I feel like a
Saturday, you were
goof.
wearing camo and I was wearing an olive green shirt.
Yeah,
So we're
it's
not
fighting
matching,
days.
but coordinated without intending to, which I always took as like we're on the same wavelength as we're working and creating things together.
Well, I hope so, and I hope that they're good things. No, not it is not. It is not. Frank Herbert, shout out, shout out, shout out, Frank, shout out, Frank. Sorry, Francis, I forgot. Frank Herbert, Dune. That's George Lucas and myself, who we are stealing our looks from.
Is Frank Herbert the author of Dune?
Absolutely so.
Okay. Also sending lots of love to Venezuela, recovering from these horrendous earthquakes.
Venezuela and the
After all the other
circle
things,
of
Venezuela's been going through it for quite some time.
yeah, that whole, by the way, do we still have your president? Sorry about
Yeah,
that. That my
we do.
bad. That's my
We do.
bad. I'd love to give him back.
I looked it up because I was like, what happened to him? Has he been disappeared? And apparently he's had court dates and people have seen him, but it's just not getting any news coverage.
Do we got his wife still too?
Yes, also. Both of them.
Who else
In
do we
just
got?
like jail in New York somewhere.
In jail? In jail in New York?
Yeah. They're just like in a county jail or a federal jail or something. I think it was more like county jail.
What? How come? What did they say? How come? Why are they in that?
Are we really going to do this?
I'm just curious.
I did not prepare for this to be a segment.
No, I'm not.
I don't
this
know.
is not a segment.
What I recall
I don't know.
is they were accused of like drug
didn't.
trafficking charges or something. So they're being tried on drug trafficking charges. And somehow the courts, which seem semi-functional still, have not ruled or did rule that they were allowed to do this, even though the DOJ has no jurisdiction in Venezuela. I don't know. Yeah, it's a mess. The last thing I read, and it's hard to tell how much is, who's propaganda, but there's a lot of Venezuela just kind of moving on without him, like murals and things coming down, and they're not talking about him as much as they used to, and they're just kind of carrying on. And I think I read an article in The Guardian, which I usually find is more likely to be more objective than regular US media, but it's still hard to tell where the biases are.
Well, and at some point you do have to just carry on. I mean, that just is what it is. But
when they say we're all replaceable, yeah.
I cannot believe
someone else will pick up your job and carry on.
That we just went and just snatched up a dude for doing a dance at somebody.
I mean, we've done that many times in U.S. history. There's
not for doing a dance at somebody. Not when.
Oh, for like working for poor people or standing up against the U.S. We've done it many times. I don't know that we've ever done it in such broad daylight with a country we weren't at war with. But
you talking about Jesus?
The whole
working
Caribbean,
for poor people? Who you talking about?
The Americas.
Yeah.
All the regime changes that we've brought about, either actively or indirectly behind the scenes.
Or here. Hey, what a fun start. Anyway, read Dune by Frank Herbert. What a great book. I don't know anything about the Messiah or the follow-ups. I'm not that person. I've never been that girl. It's not me. But the first one was really good. And I'm going to say this too.
You're talking about the movies or the books?
The books, and I'm
The
going to say this
books.
too.
Okay. Is there
Uh,
multiple books or just one book?
there's so many books. I'm going to
I
say
never
this
read
too,
them.
though. Shout out to David Lynch, because that version of June, while very odd, was just a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous piece of work, and he did the absolute best that he could, given the circumstances under which it was directed. And I like that movie. So there.
I prefer Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Fair, fair. Have you gotten to
My
the
kids and
prophets yet?
I mean, yes, we've gotten almost all the way to the end. We've slowed
Nice.
down watching it since we got to season 7 because, season 7 of any show, as I think Community made many jokes about when it was on its 7th season, it's usually kind of rough. So I don't remember most of this. I think after Jadzia Dax died, I just kind of blocked all the rest of the series out of my mind. I also may have graduated from high school and stopped watching it or something. I'm not sure. I kind of don't remember the rest of it after that. It was pretty traumatic. And my kids were
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, mom, I can see why that would be for you. You were probably identified with her, weren't you?" It's like, I don't know what you mean.
suddenly the empath doesn't work anymore. Well, huh? Yeah. Yeah, no, I for that same reason, once they get off into the spiritual practices, and that, I'm able to draw corollaries between their gods and their expressions and the Orisha and my own practices. It's like, wow, where does it go? Kraken, this is nuts. And I loved
Yeah.
the whole
And they had false prophets in there, and he's getting
yeah,
visions, and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that part's interesting. I think I, and I may have talked about this before. I'm not sure on the podcast. So just rewatching it with my kids and being like, oh, I think Star Trek in general was a very intense influence in my life as a young person. And just this belief that there was a world and there was a future coming that where like people were just like kind and competent and highly skilled and worked together to solve problems. And I was like, yes, that's what I thought humanity was. And that's what I thought we were moving towards. And I never liked the apocalyptic sci-fi because I didn't want that future. And now, oh, here we are, and I
Yeah,
still want to be a
well,
Starfleet
that's
officer.
why we called it speculative fiction, and that's why we were like, "Oh no, this is what's about to happen. Y'all better just buckle up. We're just trying to warn you." And I loved it because it made me feel less alone. And I do know
What
a
did?
few speculative future
Like what? What are you talking
writing,
about? What
Octavia
made you feel
Butler,
Octavia Butler?
with the dark futurism, the apocalyptic futurism, what you're calling that.
I love her books, and I read Parable the Sower the first time, and I just kind of thought it was like, an adventure story or something. And then I read the
Shit.
second book, and then I understood that it was a horror story.
Yeah, this is
Then I
what we
read
do.
Parable the Sower with my kids. We listened to the audiobook while we were on a road trip a couple years ago. I was like, oh no, this is absolutely a horror story.
Yeah.
But there is, even within all the horror, there's so much like hope, right? And it's like the holding on to the hope and believing that there is still a vision worth trying to create, and that there is something to grow and create from the chaos, that there is a new sprout to be grown, and that there is a new world to sow, even if you don't have any guarantee of success or a happily ever after. Like, I that's what I find really meaningful in her work. I did read it the first time during COVID lockdown, and I did not recommend that to anyone else because it was a little too intense.
Well, don't do anything during COVID lockdown. That was rough.
Hopefully, we're
Anything you
not going to
got
have to live through
attached to
another one
was
anytime
was
soon.
insane. I where well, the situation was insane. It was not that but anything you locked into, like, it's hard to look back on and be like, yeah, that was good. Um, Book of Eli was a post-apocalyptic future speculative film that I absolutely loved. The biblical idea is goofy to me. That's not my jam, but I will say that the devotion and understanding the move toward uh, a blind man or a blind person holding the vision forward and it being an oral story uh, being held by black folks is definitely I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Um yeah. Yeah, and what was the other one? The one about the dad with the kid and he got to taste a Pepsi or a Coca-Cola or some shit. Vigo Mortensen was in it. What? See, now I'm gonna have to look up more things. This is what happens
Now,
when your
so you
brain
weren't
does
into
what
the
mine's
the
doing.
biblical thing, but you did not grow up an Orisha um, adherent. Did you grow up in church? Did you read the Bible
No,
intensively as a
no, no,
young
no, no,
person?
no. Well, yes, but as we've spoken to, I was spiritually aware my entire life, just experientially, and trying to land
What
or
does that
make
mean?
sense of it.
What did
Uh,
spiritually aware mean for you as a young person?
I just experienced spirit. I knew I had like guardians and folks I could talk to and whatever, and I couldn't figure out how to define it because I didn't have language for it, and I certainly knew better than to say that to my family, but I went to like I of our family overall. I will say that I was a person who, from young, was like, "Listen, have spirit, we'll travel. Let's go. Where are we going? Let's do it. I'm down. I'm sure I'll try it. What?
Like
Want to
as
go
an
do what?
evangelist, were you knocking on doors to
No,
recruit
no,
people
no, no,
for
no, no,
Jesus?
no, no. I
Where were
was
you traveling
trying
to?
stuff. I was just trying stuff. I was like, okay, I'll go to the Church of Mormon. I'll go to a synagogue. Sure, yeah, I'll go sit with folks who meditate. Why not? What you want me to do? What? Go with the monks and eat vegetarian food and hear about how I'm going to be reborn as whatever I treat the fine. I'll do that. That sounds nice. Um, what
And
else
you
did I
lived
go
somewhere where
to?
you were exposed to this many different religious traditions.
That is one thing about Boulder, Colorado in the 1970s and 80s. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was up the street. All of the camps well, all of the camps that I attended were in one way or another attached to JCC, which is the Jewish Community Center for our folks who are not followers of the 12 Sons of David. Fine, that's fine. Don't worry about that. And shalom. And yeah, no, Jack and Jill, all the things. I mean, I was exposed to a lot of different things. It is hard to land on a single, I think, experience for that works for young folks of color in a predominantly white city. So if there was a thing that friends invited us to, or we said, "Hey, I want to go to pancake breakfast," and then got suckered into listening to, I don't know, the people who founded the thing that would turn into and evolve into the Proud Boys, because it was Bill McCartney, the then football coach who had all the power in the world because of CU Boulder being really a football town until uh, very, very recently, having not much else going on. So, a lot of different things I was exposed to, some voluntarily, some not, and had spirit, would travel, had questions, would ask, not always invited were they. the questions. Disinvited was I from some churches. The road with Viggo Mortensen. How do you say this boy's name? Viggo Mortensen. White names are so difficult for me. I apologize. I can't say white people's names. I apologize, Theresa. So the road was one that was parallel to, though much darker than Book of Eli. Though they all end the same way. They all end the same way. They all end the same way, including the Octavia Butler books. They all end the same way.
How do they end?
Well, everybody dies. It's just like,
I mean, he got the Bible to the New World Library or something in Book of Eli, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I mean, Viggo carried his dead kid across the thing and got to where he was trying to go. Wolverine, like, he got the kids to Canada, but he was dead. Like, I mean, they get there, right? But the professor's dead already, right? And now he's dead. Like,
everybody dies eventually. At least you died doing something of meaning. Is that the point?
Now you're with me. Now you're with me. Now you're with me. That's what the dark books are for, Elderly. Come on now. Yes, that's what Dune is for. That's what Star Wars is for. It's a war. We're gonna have a war. The spice, come on. People are gonna try to get the spice. They're gonna try to make slaves. They're gonna make all sorts of racialized stereotypes in space because George Lucas can't seem to see beyond that. But you know what is going to happen? There's going to be a rebellion. And we're part of it. And this is part of it. And evidently they're going to start locking us up for doing things like this. Oh my God, what's happening? Oh. I just remembered, and shout out to the families of and the supporters of all the folks who the high courts of Texas just decided get to go to prison, at least until their convictions are overturned. I'm sure that they will be. It does not lessen the trauma for their communities, for their families, for activists and organizers across the United States, land of the free, home of the brave. And it is amazing to me that the constitutionalists and the free speech warriors have so fucking little to say right now. Where are you boys?
Well, they only care about their speech. They don't care about anybody else's speech.
They're constitutionalist, originalist, unoriginalist.
And the Constitution gave rights to white male landholders, and those are the only people whose rights they're interested in defending from the, slovenly masses.
They used to allow flyering though, like that was allowed. You know what I mean? Like that you're allowed
unless
to
you were trying to teach enslaved people to read, then you go to prison for that. Or
okay. All right. Okay.
Something.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They were arrested as terrorists on terrorism charges. The terrorism charges that were created, they were called domestic
for being members of Antifa. Now,
which is now how do you where do you sign up?
Did have a gun and shot a ICE officer or security guard, or someone there did shoot someone.
I'm not saying there aren't Luigi Mangionis in the world who are going to do the very handsome best.
I mean, the idea that the man was convicted for 50 years for being a terrorist because he moved a box of zines for his wife is completely absurd.
Banane.
Now, the fact that they were all part of a gun group and some of them did actually open fire on the guards makes it a slightly different situation than just people who were protesting outside of a thing without firing ammunition at the armed guards.
I
I'm not
mean,
suggesting the response and the amount of jail time that they've given these people calling them terrorists from the party who is all about gun rights is fair by any means, but I do think it's worth the putting the qualifier of understanding the circumstances. That this is not a group of people who were just out there holding signs outside.
okay, but let's understand that Texas is
They're
open
political
carry.
prisoners. Absolutely.
Okay. Let's understand that Texas is where Waco happened.
Mm-hmm.
Let's understand that Texas has a habit of being able to spin whatever garbage ass story they want to out of whatever circumstance that they let throw down. And if they showed up dressed like ICE or not openly dressed as feds, identifying themselves as such from the jump, then the idea that they got shot at by rolling up on somebody's property when they had some guns and shit. Listen, what world do we live in? What are we talking about? I'll bet you 3 other people got shot in Texas this morning. Are you kidding me? They do that for breakfast. What are we doing right now? We know what we're doing right now. I don't know why I'm asking as though you're suggesting that
it's
it's
a
not
big problem. They're
a
absolutely
fascist
political
terrorist state
prisoners.
and that
Call
they
them,
didn't just create political prisoners of a book club with guns, but they did.
they absolutely did. And they were not just out there in like blow up frog costumes with signs.
Well,
Right.
certainly not. Why would they be
So
out there with signs? That doesn't make any sense. It's an open carry state. You can't be out there with signs. You're going to get shot. Go ahead.
Yes, but
Go
one
ahead.
of the protesters shot at the people inside, shot at the security guards. Like
Well-
strategically, that was a huge error.
Well,
Strategically, that was a huge error. Is it an error deserving of 100 years in prison? Probably not. But strategically, not a good choice to take armed weapons to your protests.
are there gonna be some goofs along the way? For sure. Absolutely.
Don't take guns to your protest. It will not go well.
Well,
That's not a good strategy.
yeah, no. And let me say this. Okay, you are making a
Like,
fair
don't
enough
watch what was that terrible movie called? The people like
I don't know. I
with
just
the
named
man who
5
likes
movies
young
that I do
girls
know.
who always looks like a 12-year-old.
Ew.
Leonardo DiCaprio. The movie
Uh-huh.
was one battle
He's in a thousand of
after
them.
another.
The
One
one that
battle
they
after
just
another.
made.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Don't
about it?
go with some fantasy of ill-prepared delusion that you're going to like storm a detention center and free the people inside because you watch one battle after another and that's what they did. Like, don't do that. That's delusional. It's not going to go well for anyone involved. Be more strategic and thoughtful about what you're doing. Now, are these people
Including
political
using your
prisoners? We need
Delulu.
to get them out? Yes. But also don't take guns to your protests. That's not going to work
Including
well.
the use of your Delulu. We have to be strategic. We have to be strategic. We all will be needing a lot of Delulu right now. And we will need to squeeze all of the love
Yes,
and
but
joy out
don't
of the
delude
Delulu
yourself
that we
into
can.
thinking that you're
I'm
going to go
agreeing
with
with you.
one rifle to like storm a detention center and free the people. Don't be that kind of delusional. It's not helpful.
What am I saying? This is not arguing.
You said we need to be very you said we need lots of
I said strategic.
Delulus. I was just trying to clarify.
Yes and that is Delulu. We must keep our Delulu. Let's not misuse and misdirect our Delulu by doing things like thinking you are in the A team. You are not, and it's not going to go well.
Does anyone younger than me know what the A team is?
I don't care. And you know, I mean, it's just it is so Texan.
I can hear the theme song playing in my head now.
Right? And American.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dum, ba-dum, boom, 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 boom. Are we gonna get fined? Um,
I don't think that was enough.
the do you know they kicked 2 different women off of that show in the first 2 years?
I didn't know there were any
That
women on that show who were not
yeah,
about faces, love
yeah.
interests.
No, there were 5 members of the A team. There were women on the show, and George Peppard made sure that by the time they got into the 3rd season, which weird, that was the last season, ended up being no women on the show. What is it with these dudes who keep claiming that they're macho, and the most macho thing they can think of is excluding women entirely? I'm just gonna say, happy Pride, fellas. Very if you keep running that gamut, you keep running the gamut
Because they
toward
only view women
masculinity,
as objects of domination, control, and
there
extraction.
comes a point where you end up doing the most masculine thing you can think of, which is, it turns out, the gayest thing you could possibly do. The Venn diagram is just a hula hoop, and they
What
keep circling it around themselves. And it's just so odd.
are you trying to
Like, who,
insult
what do
them by
you,
calling them gay? Or you're just saying that their hostile, toxic masculinity is just a lot of effort to hide their homoerotic tendencies?
I think it's very well. I think it was meant to hide homoerotic tendencies. I don't think that is possible anymore. I think that once you look at it from where we sit, right, to talk about these things as though there is no hyper homoerotic thing happening in the A team or in these things or in like wrestling or in the 80s is insane. But at the time, these were the ideas that were meant to bury the truths about what it is to live in the climate and in the cocaine and in the Hollywood of the 80s. And it's weird retrospectively, including getting rid of the best commodity on the show, which is your guy in the chair, and you can't even deal with the fact that your guy in the chair is a woman. Like, what are we doing? Anyway, no, I think George Peppard is just a misogynist and probably just hates women.
Who is that?
That is the old man. I don't remember character names. I know the actors' names.
On the A team?
Yes.
The Colonel or whoever, when he just like the Colonel.
Is that his name? The Colonel? George Peppard, the old man with the cigar? I can remember.
In my mind, he is blending together with the dude from MASH, but I think they were different people.
No, those are different people.
In my mind, they're the same archetype, but
again, no. But
he was much nicer, the one on MASH. He always had a cigar. I think he was just the Colonel.
The Colonel, okay.
Face was a pretty
was
one. Murdoch was a crazy one. They had to break out of insane asylums, and Mr. T
Benedict
was something else there.
Oh no, I lost his name now. Benedict something was what is Face's name. He was also in Battlestar Galactica, the original, and
he was he Starbuck in the original?
He sure was. And Murdoch, and this takes us right back to the point, is the person who, while very, 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 very fun to have on your show, and man, oh man, oh man, am I aware, as you have become aware, as are most of the people I work with aware, that once the camera's on or the lights are on or the stage is on or the audience is there, I might be a little bit of a loose cannon. And I thought, man, that character is fun. And we've learned, our listeners, our viewers say, hey, I like this. That's fun. And I know from experience, including yours, that loose cannon is not always who we want on our team. It is not always the most fun. Sometimes following the path that is laid before us is fun. That could be following the rules could be fun, maybe. Actually getting the
I don't
goal
know
done
what
is
we're talking
fun.
about anymore.
And Mad Murdoch was the loose cannon, as was the person who ran into the place
expert.
And started shooting at the guard
one battle after another.
First, which is not the way to do it. You don't shoot first. You don't, because then you're not doing the thing that we're set out to do. I'm not saying don't use a tactic, but use a tactic for a purpose at a moment when you need it.
Well,
not just that some rando shit, because then now you're a loose cannon, and that while it looks fun in a movie, it gets you in jail for 100 years, my guy.
Also, there's not a lot of clarity in what we are trying to do. Some people are just trying to LARP a video game because that's the level of delusion of, I can do anything. One person can change the world. You know, I'm going to go in with my one rifle and take them all out, just like in the video game. Like, that's not revolutionary. That's just letting toxic masculinity and delusion drive you and everyone else into self-destruction.
Well, and it gets to, it's true. And it does get to what we have been, you know, as we were speaking to in the training that we just did, and as you and I have been speaking to in other places where we have been building what we're about to be doing for the next trainings, the Bernaysian deal, for want of a better word, that the United States has made in terms of understanding and training itself in propagandizing to the people of the United States. Now we end up with this idea of hyper-individualism, wherein and whereby we are all dealt the hand where we believe that somehow, some way, we ought to be able to figure it out by ourselves and then get around it by ourselves. And if we can't do it with our brains, then we should be able to Bonnie and Clyde our way through the thing. And what everyone forgets is that, just like all of the other characters that we had referenced earlier, Bonnie and Clyde died at the end. Yet there's not, and not nicely. There's no way to do this alone. You have to, if we're going to your point, have an underground railroad.
Was that my point?
That's what I was trying. That's what I was going to tie it to right there. Is that if we're going to have a revolution, there's the words, then it's got to be an underground railroad. It is not a thing that you're going to do by storming the castle. That's not how people got free here. That caused ruckus. It did happen. Sneaking, and being
not how
armed
most
to
people
do
got
sneaking.
free. Most people got free on the other side of the Civil War.
Sneaking.
Many people got free through the Underground Railroad, but not most people.
No. I'm talking about during the Civil War. In the Civil War, like the, you know, and certainly there were freemen and people who just declared their freedom, and people whose freedom was given to them during the Civil War for the purpose of the recruitment, of being the fodder for the front lines and all of this sort of thing. I'm not suggesting that people weren't fighting. I'm not suggesting there were legislations before that and after that, and that people were not deeply, deeply involved, both intellectually and in the struggle for their own freedom. And right now, this moment, storming the castle, guns out, no one's getting free. Unless you're trying to get free from you're trying to free your spirit. If you're trying to free your spirit, there's a way to do it. And they may not, because they may decide that you need to be made an example out of, and then you may be in prison with your friends for 100 years.
Would
No
you
good.
like to hear my actual point, or do you just want to keep taking half of what I say and running with it to your own conclusions?
You know, it's not about what I want to do. It's the ADHD. I apologize, but I'd love to hear your point.
In my own work to dismantle and unravel these patterns from myself and look at the ancestral healing and all the things, it's like all these systems run on dominate the energies of domination and control, right? White supremacy, colonization, patriarchy, capitalism, like everything runs on these energies of domination and control. So storming the castle, as you say, or feeling like the only way is to fight our way out with weapons or something is just more of the same energy of domination and control. It has not worked well anywhere in the world. There's no success story of how domination control led to utopia, right? And so figuring out how to disentangle ourselves from these energies of domination and control for me is the path forward through the chaos. It's not a solution. It's not imposing my will on the world. There's no guarantee it does anything. But for me, energetically, pulling my energy out of the systems and practices and structures of domination and control is where I can be most impactful and effective. Um, that for me is the way forward. It's not an action movie. It doesn't seduce us in that same way, right? But that is all seduction. Like how much propaganda has gone into all these action movies and superhero movies and things that make it seem like one person with a gun can take on the world and change the world. It's like that is not what we need now. We're all connected. And we were talking about this the other day, and this is one of my things I don't expect everyone to agree with me on, but I don't know that liberation is the most useful frame right now, because liberation, yes, for enslaved folks who are being held captive, absolutely liberation is the goal. And for us now who are not physically being held captive, we're being held captive energetically and systemically in some ways. But liberation always puts us in this contrast of like what I'm trying to get away from, what I have to free myself from. And so it keeps us locked in this binary thing of like the bad and whatever will exist if I can get away from it. It's like there's no getting away from it. There's nowhere in the world you can go to get away from the systems that we've all inherited globally of white supremacy, capitalism, patriarchy. um, there's places where they've done more. There's places where they've created or carved out something for themselves away from those systems, but they're few and far between and they still have their problems. And so for me, the goal is like looking more towards how do we create a world of mutually beneficial interdependence where we no longer are going to this dream of like, I have to get away so I can be free, but it's really like, we're all here together, as you often say, like we're on Battlestar Galactica. There's not another planet to go to. How do we take care of each other and this one here and recognize that we are all interdependent, whether we want to be or not, and be moving towards mutually beneficial interdependence, recognizing that we're all interconnected instead of the liberation theme of like trying to get away from the bad thing. Like, I want to bring down those systems, but I don't know, like, okay, we liberate ourselves from these systems, and then what? Then we're living in post apocalyptic, horror stories again.
Pew 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 pew.
You run Snowpiercer off the train, and then you're just trying to see if you can survive in the snow. Like, instead of how do we create something that is working for all of us, where all of our needs are met to the best of our ability. Now, that's not the thing most people seem interested in, because a lot of people, whether they have power and money or not, still want to be the one with the power and the money, and they're willing to sacrifice a lot of people to get that for themselves alone. So I don't
Let me
know
ask you this.
what to do about that besides just pulling my energy out of systems of domination and control wherever I can.
Is there some money to be had someplace or some power? Because I'll have a little. Can I have a little?
Are you
You
willing
have
to
some?
sacrifice a lot of people to get there?
No.
That seems to
No.
be the problem.
No.
Seems to require sacrificing a lot of other human beings, either, physically, energetically, spiritually, one way or another, in order to accumulate that for yourself. And a lot of
Yeah.
people are willing to do that. A lot of people are willing to do that.
I'm not. That's part of the thing about, and I'm aware of this, right? That why brilliant raconteur and pretty damned good strategist and very gifted entertainer. Which all gives me the ability to be very good at the show. The business part of it, which is the part where you have to extract from other humans and hurt people and step on people and fuck people over to be really very successful at many of the things that I would love to be very, very successful at, but I'm not willing to subject myself or anybody else to those humiliations. It's just very gross.
And, I mean, what does success mean in that context? Money and
Oh,
power?
well, it turns out that
Fame and recognition.
Here's my thing. I would just love to be able to sell theaters. That's all I'm really after. I don't need. I don't even need. NPR famous is what I'm after. I don't really want to be famous. I don't want that.
You want lots of people to come listen to you talk and tell jokes.
Yeah.
You want their love and
Everywhere
adoration,
around the world.
But you don't want them to talk to you personally or touch you ever.
No, they can talk to me personally. We can even have a back and forth during the show. That's great. I don't
during the show, not afterwards. You don't want to talk to them individually, one-on-one.
Listen. Here's what we're gonna do. There's gonna be. I'm gonna be in the lobby. We're gonna do photos. We're gonna do the whole thing. Right, the sales table's right on the way.
No, now you're just talking about how you're going to sell yourself for profit.
No.
I'm
talking about how we're gonna. Hi, I love tour. Hi. Oh, come on. I love it.
What need would be met for you if you reach that level again?
I'm brainwashing myself into loving it.
Why do you want to force yourself to do something you hate?
Oh, it's just everything that goes with it that really is not my favorite stuff. It's that, honestly, and I've said it multiple times. You know this, and you've seen it, and I've lived it, and I love it. It's true. The moments that I get to, the opportunity to, and I like clubs too. I really do. Have the opportunity to really connect, right? And that, you know what? As you know, this is why I also love felicitating. When I am given the opportunity to to hold the conduit toward folks trying to find and having both the inspiration and the fuel to move their way through this often torturous world and to find community in doing it. God, that feels so good to me. I love it. I'm greedy for it. I'm not.
For what?
That feeling of recognizing and elevating the language to help people understand and articulate, because they understand. We all understand at a cellular level what our experiences are, right? It is very difficult because they also understand our experience and they also understand what the cellular impact is. And very often that it leads back to, plus the propaganda, the thing that you were talking about, that individualism and hyper-individualism, and I'm going to shoot my way out of this or whatever it is, right? I'm not going to depend on that mutual aid to which we are trying to move given that we actually work in and live in Battlestar Galactica, not Star Wars, nor Star Trek, nor any of the other things that we would have preferred. It is what it is. But given that, right, understanding very clearly, not because I think it's the most important or the best or the sexiest. I don't. I want to be the one who shoots my way out of it too. I won't. I can't. I'm not that. I see myself. I even dress myself in these clothes. I'm aware of who I am. And I am a raconteur who is able to help people find and articulate the experience that they are having in areas of community. And when that happens, that is the formula for change, because then people realize they're not going through the shit alone. It is everybody. It is actually the system. It is not you. And as such, either this system, like, hey, change it or lose it, dog. Like, because this is not it. This is not it. Right. And that's what we get to say to the folks who run it by either demonstration or, as you said, simply just stepping away from it because it is not useful nor helpful. It is becoming less so. It is becoming less and less so. Patriarchy in particular, but the entire system is really turning out.
I mean, I think patriarchy is over
right now.
You know, patriarchy is pretty much done. It's going to take another 100 years or two for that transition for it to completely die, but it's pretty much over.
I'll get to
like
see the
men
end
are
of it. So
more or
that's
less
cool. 200, you said?
at this point.
All right, I could do 200 more
200 years.
I could do 200 more. I'm not going past that though.
It's pretty much over. It's just useless. Like, the men have been in charge and have pretty much destroyed the world, made it almost unsuitable for human habitation. Like, you're done. You failed. You're fired.
It's on fire.
Like, no, we're not doing this anymore. I was going to say that thing
the water
about
is boiling. It's literally on fire. You fucked it up. You were going to say
the thing about, most of us are not. There's, certainly the preppers among us who actually have weapons, but a lot of us do go to that toxic individualism with that, like, I'm going to think my way through it with my brain, and I'll be so smart and omnipotent that I will find the solution. And then we go into lots of shame spirals when things don't go the way that we were hoping they do.
Why are you putting me on blast?
I was reading this book.
Why are you putting me on blast?
I'm not. These are themes that I've been working through over the last, lots of years, but the last about 8 years in particular, as I've been healing a lot of my own trauma and doing ancestor healing and clearing a lot of, patterns from myself. And I remember feeling way back when, before 8 years ago, sometimes I would feel like a floating head on a popsicle stick or something. I would just I could barely even, because I was so dissociated, my body would feel tiny. Like, if I laid down and closed my eyes, my body would feel tiny and my head would just feel gigantic. It's because all my energy was in my head all the time. I barely could even remember that I had a body because I was just a head. And then I would make jokes sometimes about being in the Zoom world, especially since COVID lockdown, of trying to remember that we are embodied beings and not just floating heads flying through the virtual world from one Zoom room to another Zoom room when we were spending so much time in Zoom rooms. And then I was reading this book by Alicia Elliott, who's a First Nations woman from Canada, Mohawk, I believe. And I read this book. It's a novel, And Then She Fell. And I do highly recommend it. And also,
sorry, go back again. Say the last part. The novel. What?
And Then She Fell is the title.
And Then She Fell. It sounded like something else entirely.
And Then She Fell. I would say it almost made me question my own sanity a couple times while I was reading the book, because it does deal with a woman who's going through a mental health crisis on some level, but she's also just navigating being an Indigenous person in the whiteness of the colonizer world. And it gets challenging to know what's real and what's not in some places. But it's very well done, and it takes one of the most interesting, unexpected turns I've ever read, and it really was beautiful. And I don't want to give more than that away. But there was reference in this book to
How's
the
it end?
Haudenosaunee myth that if someone engages in cannibalism and like eats human flesh, that they turn into a flying head. They turn into a flying head with wings. And I was like, oh, that is what we do when we end up just colonizing culture and consuming, maybe not literally eating human flesh. But then when we get so disconnected from our own hearts and bodies that we just turn into these kind of like energetic heads just flying through the world. And it made me think about these experiences of my own life and all the things I had to disentangle of those times that I felt like a floating head on a stick because I was so into this domination and control of the mind, the way that these the oppressive systems replicate even in our own energy and ourselves, in which the head wants to be the dominator and the controller of all things and doesn't leave much space for the heart or for our gut instincts and all the other, or spirit, all the other wisdom centers that we have, and how much work it's taking me, especially over the past 8 years, intentionally to really break away from that domination of the head and the mind and really move to center myself in my heart so that I'm really making choices from there, not in a codependent, delusional, Piscean way, which I did before, with no boundaries and believing, seeing only the best in everyone and being incapable of seeing when people were lying to me. But no, but like with clarity, with my much stronger truth cord, very firm boundaries and healthy boundaries at this point, of really being able to just sit there and be like, what is my heart calling for me to do today? And be able to move in that flow with life instead of the domination of the mind that thinks, and I still have to work against this sometimes. If I just think hard enough and puzzle through it enough, there's an answer for me to find. And especially right now in this moment, there's no answer, right? We've been so propagandized to think that, like, if you're struggling right now, it's a personal failure. You failed to appropriately navigate capitalism because you didn't save enough, or you didn't go into the right field, or you didn't do whatever. It's like, no, there's no answer right now. Everything's falling apart. Everything's falling apart. They took the entire combined documented history of humanity and then shoved it into a computer model that they said could do your job better than you, which it can't. And then they're trying to like charge us to access things that we all created. And it's just like the whole world is falling apart right now. And it's because of that domination of the head and the mind to try to figure it out and extract more and get more. And it just ruins everything. I go back to the
Yeah.
simple things like the mail, like when people used to send letters in the mail and it was exciting to get mail, but then it just became bills and junk mail. And then we stopped really caring about the mail because then we had email. And email used to be people I actually wanted to talk to who were sending me messages. And it was exciting to get the little ding ding, you've got mail thing back in the day. But now all it is thousands and thousands and thousands of junk email messages. Some of them
Yeah.
from people and organizations I actually care about, but I cannot sort through them, and then my own guilt of contributing to them because I also need to communicate with people. And so then I'm adding to the
No, ours
inbox
aren't junk.
overwhelm for
Ours
others.
aren't junk.
I don't
Ours aren't
think so,
junk.
but for some
And
people
you
they
can
might
sign
be.
up for them at strategyandSolidarity.org, or strategy info at strategyandSolidarity.com or .org, or go to
That was almost so
strategy.
smooth.
That was almost so smooth. I'm
Just
not
come
smooth.
join our community at strategyandSolidarity.org. That will automatically put us on your mailing list. If your inbox is overwhelmed, you can't bring yourself to even open your inbox anymore, then you can just come be in the community with us and check in when you want to check in and don't when you don't. Um, And then even my text messages, same thing. It used to be messages from people I actually knew and wanted to hear from and cared about. And now there's just junk mail filling my text messages because capitalism just extracts and extracts until there's nothing left that anyone wants, like mining a mountain. Take
Yeah.
something beautiful that took eons to be formed. You just break it apart, suck out everything you can find, and leave a toxic pit behind. Micro, my email inbox is now that toxic pit. Macro, the mountain that's been mined. And very internal is the place of like the head that's just trying to suck every piece of joy out of life to try to figure out how to get it right or how to control other people. And it's like, that's not what we're here for. I mean, the messages I've been getting from spirit lately is like, yeah, life is chaos. It's just chaos. There's not a right answer. What are you going to create in the chaos? The point is to be here and to create something out of the chaos. It's not a right answer. It's not a wrong way as long as you're living and not sacrificing other people to accumulate wealth and power that don't serve life, that only serve ego. and toxic systems.
Did you know? Okay, I heard, and yes, to what you're saying. I heard something wild. They will interest you as well, and it has to do very much with the ego. That and I didn't even know this was a possibility. I didn't know this was a thing, but evidently, neurotypical people, and there are people who are more whatever they thought neurotypical was when they were studying brains, than you or I are prone to necessarily believe, as these experiences, once you find out about them, are wild. Now, I've been trying to assure myself about the world by learning more about the world. And the more that I learn, sometimes it does, more times it doesn't. This is one of those times. Neurotypical people, when they are thinking stuff and when they are hearing stuff about what to do or not do, or what, you know, what for me sounds like I'll be sitting around and I'll be hearing at the same time, hey, you should probably get up and eat something. I think, oh boy, you really got to deal with this stuff that's going on in the depths of your recesses of your finances. There's nothing you can do about that anyway, though. But so that's probably okay. You should focus on the things you're doing. You're doing pretty well, but I really need you to get up and eat. And I'll be hearing this kind of thing, right? As I'm doing things and or making choices. Man, yeah, no, absolutely. You're gonna do the thing you gotta do to take care of your child. Absolutely. That's what you're gonna do. And you're gonna communicate and you're gonna be good about it and get over it. Just get over it. Just get up. No, you don't want to do it. Get up and go to work. I know nobody pays you right now. That's not my point. Get up and go to
Is
work.
this your inner bully
Right?
voice?
No. Simply my ego. Also oh yeah, no, definitely apply for it. Let's do it. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's be NPR famous. It's all that stuff we were talking about before. It's the internal dialogue that is always going on, right? Evidently, neurotypical people don't have that. They don't hear their ego. They just do stuff. There's not like hey, you know what you should do? There's nothing going on like that. Speaking to them in words saying, hey, go do that. Like, that's not what's happening in their brain. And I don't get it. It's like when I hear people don't think in images or see colors and music and numbers. Like, what are we talking about right now? What does that even mean? What do you mean people don't hear the voice? Of course you hear the voice. What?
Whose voice?
The ego voice.
Is it just one voice or are there multiple voices?
What are we doing right now? Are you calling me Sybil? Are we doing a thing? Is the voice in the room with us? Is that what's happening?
I don't know. I
doing?
used to talk to myself a lot. And then once I started engaging with spirit and asking, like, wait, whose voice is this actually? I realized that a lot of times those voices that I thought were just my own psyche trying to support myself or talk myself out of things or tell myself whatever, like were many things. Some of them were like helping spirits. Some of them were trauma patterns from myself. I have a lot of mental dialogue. I have noticed that the Adderall does help quiet my mind. Um, that was one of the things I noticed about the Adderall is that it just helped quiet my mind. So there wasn't so much constant overthinking and processing and spinning. It just got a lot quieter. So like it's there, but I think there can be lots of things going on there. And it's like, what are those voices or that voice? Is it helpful or is it not? Or is it just like you narrating your life through the day? Is it encouraging voice or a bully voice? Is it telling you a piece of shit or telling you got this? Let's keep going? Or is it a delusional voice telling you that you should do a thing that isn't actually helpful? Like,
you're not asking me personally, I'm assuming. You're just asking this as yeah, no, it's just there. It's just that I have a narration voice.
It's just your inner narrator that narrates your day.
I have I have it's primarily a narration voice. It really truly is just like the ego. It's not really the it. It's not some hidden agendas up in there. It's like, hey, make this prettier. Hey, move over here. Hey, you know what we should do? You should probably just rub your arm. I don't care. Like, who cares who's looking at it? Hey, you know what is good? It's all of that, and it just but evidently, which right speaks to the question of
They don't have an inner monologue or dialogue.
yes,
Yeah, I've heard that.
yeah,
I
both
can't really
the
comprehend
idea.
what that would be like, but I've heard that.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, what are you saying right now? What do you mean you don't like music? What?
I don't know. There's a million different ways to exist in the world. There's lots of different brains. I'm not sure that neurotypical really exist. There's lots of different ways that brains work.
I'm not saying, I'm only using words they use. I'm not even convinced
I don't
that
think
I'm
not liking music is a
neuroatypical
common
at this point.
neurotypical thing.
I'm not convincing myself that these people are neurotypicals.
I think not liking
you don't
music
have
is
an inner dialogue, my dog. You can't see colors when music is on, my dog.
No.
We're not having the same conversation.
I don't see colors when music is on. I have an internal dialogue, less than I used to, mostly because I healed a lot of stuff. But yeah, I don't see colors in music.
But you recognize the colors, and you don't even know you recognize the colors. You showed up in the colors of the day. Color of the day is coral, pink.
Why?
I don't know. That's not my job. My job is just to see it. The fact that you recognize it and knew to put it on.
That I could pull out.
Nah, that's what you think. The universe is not doing that. That's not what we're doing. That's not. How am I? Okay, right now, do me a favor. If you are watching this on any social media, and you too on June 29, when this is recorded,
Monday.
the day this is recorded, Monday, June 29, are wearing coral as a predominant color in your ensemble of the day. Leave one of those pink hearts in the chat. Do me that flavor. I would love to know. This is for me. I would love to know. Oh, back to the thing I was saying was just that it is that inner voice and that inner dialogue that allows for that. Honestly, it is
to keep
the
talking
comfort.
while other people are talking.
It is. Excuse me, Miss Ma'am. And yes, because now this is me and the inner voice trying to have a conversation over you. So yes, absolutely. To do the podcasts and the things. And also before, when I did it, and it was just me, and I would still do the things and like bullet point it out and have the whole, and also the stand-up and also the facilitation. It's like, yeah, there are vibes that.
So you will prepare for things when I'm not involved, but if I'm involved, then you refuse to prepare for things. You just want to improv.
We prepared. We just got a little bit away from the. We talked about the book. Hey, kids, what did we learn today? We learned about a book by a first world woman, and that book is called. What was it called?
And Then She Fell.
And Then She Fell. Huh?
The author's name is Alicia Elliott.
Thank you.
We talked about Dune, that was probably written by a white man, and Star Trek.
We talked about Gene Roddenberry's
and
Dune.
Voices in Our Heads, which is also on brand for that book. And discerning, whose voice am I hearing? Is it helpful? Is it hurtful? Is it something that needs healed? Is it a healed ancestor?
Was Eli delusional?
With me? Is it a ghost trying to lead me to self-destruction?
Was the man on the road whose child he carried over the finish line delusional? Was Wolverine delusional, or was Wolverine's little girl delusional? Who's to say? What's a delusion? Yeah, the Wolverine was the good. You didn't see that one? You didn't know what I was talking about
I have
before?
no idea what you're talking about half the time.
There
Just
was
play
a
along.
good Hugh Jackman Wolverine movie. And I'm saying this is both a connoisseur of every
Well, did
single
that come
comic
out
book
before the
movie.
Deadpool movie where Wolverine was dead?
Yes. That's why he was dead.
I didn't see that one, no.
And then he had to go find a different Wolverine or whatever. And that was also what the tonal
I
change
don't watch
was.
very many movies. You have to like sit still and pay attention
The
to
one
watch a
prior
movie.
to that, was a child parent film. It was a daughter father film, and it was spectacular.
The
It
Wolverine
was
one?
yes.
What was
It's
it
just called
called?
Wolverine.
Just called Wolverine.
Just Wolverine.
Okay.
And
I'll
it
look it up
was
someday.
spectacular. That said, it was the road, it was the Book of Eli, it was all of that.
The
That's
problem
what it
is
was.
if I sit down to watch something which requires me to actually pay attention, then I get stuck there because then now that's what I'm doing, and I might not ever get back up again. But I have so many things to do, so I can listen to podcasts and audiobooks while I do dishes and garden and yell at my kids to clean up and do laundry and fold clothes and do all those kinds of things. So usually I'm multitasking, so I don't watch that many movies or TV things anymore. Is TV still a thing? Does it still exist?
I don't know. This was a long time ago as well. Like I'm still pretty dedicated to the comic book movies because I don't find the time that I
They're
would
your
love to
special
read comic
interests.
books. Yeah, and I don't have
Yeah.
the time to read comic books
They're a
anymore.
resource in your life.
They are. And I don't have comic book movie money these days, but you know what? I know that they're still being made, and that does my soul good. We have some things that might do your soul good, and we would love for you to join us.
If you missed our live Your Nervous System versus Fascism workshop, you can still join us asynchronously. We might even put another date up on the calendar in the near future. But for now, you can still come, register, watch the recording, engage with us online. We're still sharing resources and answering people's questions in the online course space at strategyindsolidarity.org. Come join us at strategyindsolidarity.org. Membership is free. If you happen to have resources that you'd like to use to invest in our community and support that work that we're doing, there's also paid memberships, which we will be eternally grateful for you supporting us in that way. But if you don't, because we're all struggling right now, come join us for free. We're having conversations in there. We're sharing things that bring us joy. We're sharing, what we're learning from things we're reading and watching. We are asking questions. We are talking about strategy for our day jobs and how to continue surviving and working for racial justice and mutually beneficial interdependence and striving for a world in which we are all thriving.
And we are
Even though we don't know how we're going to get
ways.
there, we do not have the answers because I don't think there's a answer. I think there's many, many answers and experiments to be done along the way. So if that's something you're interested in, come join us there. We also have our next public offering, Reclaiming My Time. Instead of one workshop, this is a full, not Reclaiming My Time, Reclaiming My Spirit.
That was almost smooth.
We did a thing called Reclaiming My Time in 2017, I think. That was incredibly impactful. There's people who are still
before we knew the world was
at
falling apart. Yeah.
We did. That was an in-person thing in Portland, but this will be a virtual community thing. Wherever you are in the world, you can join us for 7 weeks as we reclaim our spirits. And what does that mean? That means we're going to have conversations that will be more structured and coherent than the one we had here today on the podcast. As we introduce skills and tools for tapping into your own wisdom and guidance, connecting with your spirit, however you define that for yourself. It's not religious, it's not denominational. Anyone of any spiritual path or tradition is welcome to join us. It's really about how do we tap into our own wisdom and guidance in our our own worldviews. And we have skills and practices for that. We've got skills and practices for energy clearing and learning how to hold healthy boundaries energetically and interpersonally with the people you actually have to navigate the world with. We got skills and tools for gaining guidance when the path feels unclear ahead of you. So we hope that you will
For
check that out.
centering, for learning to cut cords if necessary. There are things you can do for you so that you can be there for your community.
Yeah, and so we can create what we came here to create out of this chaos, for as long as we get to do it. The end is always the same for all of us, but what are we, how do we make it meaningful as we survive this chaos together? So come join us for that.
When is that?
Strategyindsolidarity.com is where you can find all the information on that program starting July 11th through August 22nd.
Ooh, that's a long one. I like it.
I like it. To reclaim your spirit.
Yeah. We are aware that some of the projects that we offer are ideas that you can apply to your life, and that's why we do question and answer and follow up after, because we can't always do 8 weeks, 7 weeks on a particular focus. But this one, we are equally aware that there is no way that we're going to be able to tap into with the tools that we're looking to offer and the various tools that we're looking to offer and the practices that we're hoping to engage, be able to do that in a period of like 2 hours. And so we are really going to be building community. We hope you'll be part of it. It's more meaningful together. And for us, it's much more fun live. So we hope you'll join us for our next endeavor, and that's going to be reclaiming our spirit. What we need to say now still.
Yeah, I usually have a little spiel of thanks that you say at the end.
That's right. We do. I would like to thank Imani Williams. Thank you so very much for the use of your song Love of the Earth for our intro and outro music. Thank you to all of our members at Strategy and Solidarity for your support and for your membership, because it is you who make this something that we are able to do. And thank you to everybody who is listening. Appreciate you.
Thank you to Carlos's pain meds that have made this an extra fascinating tangential version of this podcast.
I think it's the pain itself. The meds, I don't know if they worked so well, but boy, oh boy, pain is a motivator. My brain's just like, I don't know, it's a podcast. Keep saying words. That's what you do.
Take good care of yourselves out there.
What am I doing? Where's the stop button? Oh, I found it.